With only a few Smash Ultimate characters remaining to be revealed, it's no surprise that Smash fans want Nintendo to end Ultimate DLC with a bang. In fact, the bar has been set so high that many fans have convinced themselves that it is mandatory for Nintendo to exceed the extremely high expectations and insist that the final characters must be big third-party picks. Notable examples of these are Crash Bandicoot, Doomslayer, Ryu Hayabusa from Ninja Gaiden, and Master Chief from Halo. Contrary to popular belief, the best direction for Nintendo to take is actually the opposite. The Big N must remind the Smash Bros. Fanbase that in the end of the day, Super Smash Bros. Is a Nintendo IP and a celebration of their franchises, with some third-party guests. It is not a celebration of gaming as a whole. The best way for Nintendo to prove this point is by making sure that at least one of the remaining characters is their intellectual property. The question in this situation is not whether Nintendo should put one of their characters in the remaining Fighter Pass, but rather which Nintendo character should take up a slot. Considering multiple significant factors, the best third-party character to receive a Smash invitation letter is none other than Luigi's adversary, King Boo. Out of all the first-party options usually entertained, King Boo is without a doubt the best option Nintendo can go with, far surpassing those of Porky, Dixie Kong, Impa, a Galar region Pokemon, Isaac, and especially Waluigi and Geno. This massive marshmallow has so many factors in favor of his Smash inclusion, and in the case he is not in Smash Ultimate, Nintendo is really dropping the ball in this case, as it means a golden opportunity for a unique character and stage is lost. The first indicator that King Boo has a chance of filling up one of the final Fighter Pass slots is the simple fact that Luigi's Mansion 3 never received a Spirit event. This is beyond baffling because basically every major Switch game released around or after Smash Ultimate's release has received a Spirit event to add new spirits in a way to honor said game. The only ones that did not get a Spirit event were Mario Maker 2, Pikmin 3 Deluxe, Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition, or any remake as a fact, Yoshi's Crafted World, and Luigi's Mansion 3. For the remakes and Mario Maker 2, it makes perfect sense because there is really nothing new they introduced that would work as a good spirit. Maybe Builder Luigi might have been a good spirit, but honestly, it's a stretch. Yoshi's Crafted World also didn't introduce much new content apart of crafted versions of already existing characters. And on top of that, Yoshi's alternate skin of Crafted World Yoshi is already its own spirit in the game. Luigi's Mansion 3 on the other hand is a fresh new game with a plethora of new characters, settings, and unique utensils that would make quality spirits for a Luigi's Mansion 3 Spirit event. Gooigi, Helen Gravely, Goob. Literally, these three alone would have made a great Spirit event, but it never happened. This is even more peculiar as of May 2021, since even Bowser's Fury received 3 spirits to promote the game, an enhanced version of a Wii U game. Meanwhile, the brand new game receives nothing? Doesn't make much sense. The only logical conclusion to draw from this scenario is that they have waited 2 years for King Boo's, maybe EGAD's, release and bring Smash Ultimate a Luigi's Mansion 3 Spirit event alongside the character. This scenario has happened before. Back in January of 2020, Byleth was shown as the final character of Fighter Pass 1. And alongside her release was the Spirit event for Fire Emblem Three Houses. Prior to her reveal, there were no FETH spirits in Smash, which at the time was strange because lower level profile games that were released after it, like Daemon X Machina and Astral Chain, had already received spirit events. It made no sense for Nintendo to promote smaller games over their top tier releases, which is why Byleth's inclusion was to be expected. Roll the clock ahead a year and several months to mid-2021, and now Smash Ultimate has spirits for Animal Crossing New Horizon, Paper Mario The Origami King, Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity, Bravely Default 2, Monster Hunter Rise, and Bowser's Fury. Yet no Luigi's Mansion 3? This is possibly another Byleth situation, where the Luigi's Mansion 3 spirits will be released alongside a Luigi's Mansion 3 character. After all, this game has sold over 9 million copies, so why not reward the folks over at Next Level Games? Smash Bros. Director Masahiro Sakurai has stated several times that he wants the DLC characters to bring something new to the game. Each of the Fighter Pass characters has at least one unique characteristic or mechanic that helps them stand out from the crowd. Joker has a power-up comeback feature in Arsene, where upon unleashing him, all of his attacks are powered up. Hero has RNG elements in both his down special and his smash attacks. The former, command selection, allows Hero to choose from 4 out of total of 21 spells at a time, and the latter gives Hero a chance of getting a critical hit when landing a smash attack. Banjo and Kazooie have access to an attack that is completely invincible with a limited usage, adding the extra layer of using attacks wisely for both. Banjo can't use Wonder Wing recklessly because then he will run out of ammo, and the opponents can't just Leroy Jenkins the Banjo player because then they will eat a Wonder Wing to their face. Terry added new traditional fighting game input commands and super special moves, powerful attacks that he gains access to after receiving over 100% in damage, making the matches far more volatile. Byleth is armed with powerful, long-reaching attacks that make her a ranged demon. Min Min has insane range and a unique playstyle. Each of the attack buttons corresponds with a different arm, meaning she can use 2 of an attack at the same time. Steve can create platforms, allowing him to play the game outside the standard stage. Sephiroth has insane range and the one-winged mechanic, granting him a strong comeback game. Pyra and Mithra are 2 characters in one, with the former focusing on power and the latter on speed. King Boo has the potential to join the Smash Ultimate roster with new and unique battle mechanics, since he has the ability to create splitting images of himself, making the game a bit more of a mind game, and the ability to possess others and turn them invisible, making him a puppet master of opponents who get brainjacked by him. Stick to the end of the video to see more details on how King Boo would function as a character. Sakurai has stated various times throughout the years that the most important things towards designing new characters are 1. Giving them a practical moveset that will allow them to function as fighters, thus why Pong is not a character. 2. The characters must pay respect to their original source material, as in casual players must feel like they are playing as the character in Smash rather than the appearance of the character with completely alien moves. And lastly, they must be fun to play. The last one might be subjective, but according to Sakurai, whether or not a character is fun to play as is more important than whether the character is new or old, or whether the character is recognizable. Stick around to see how King Boo would function as a character. He is one with the ability to have a very practical moveset, will feel like one is playing as the Mad King himself, and he would be fun to play as. In fact, taking from a lot of source materials within Mario games and Luigi's Mansion games, designing an entire moveset for King Boo is actually really easy. In the case that King Boo does ultimately become a playable character, the following characteristics will best represent the source material where he originates from. First, the general attributes. King Boo will be a big body heavyweight character with a height around that of Rosalina and weight comparable to that of Incineroar. Since he is a ghost that is eternally levitating, it makes sense that he would be one of the floatiest characters in the game, roughly around that of Peach and Daisy. King Boo's running speed will be pretty slow, about the same as villagers, but his airspeed and air acceleration will be high, with an airspeed equal to that of Limit Cloud and air acceleration matching that of Wario's. King Boo's jump height will be the same as Pac-Man's jump height. His idle state would have him just floating in place with an evil, sinister smile, which he then can transition into one of two idle animations. In the first, King Boo will raise his arms and close his mouth, and then open his mouth wide, stick out his tongue, and lower his arms, showing off his massive indigo tongue. His second idle animation will have King Boo looking upwards, lifting his arms up while his crown begins to spin and dazzle as spirit balls emerge from it. His walking animation will be a simple waddle back and forth, just like the one of the cutscenes in the battle against him in Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon. In his dash animation, King Boo will lean his whole body forward and stick out his tongue. While running, his tongue will slide across the floor, serving as a hurt box. His jumping animation will have him just lifting up his arms and raising himself to a higher altitude. He will be a high jumper and will be able to do 2 mid-air jumps. When shielding, King Boo will go into the classic Shy Boo pose, in which he closes his eyes and covers up his face with his hands. In a successful perfect shield, King Boo raises his arms in excitement with a big smile in his face while sticking out his tongue, giving a bloodthirsty look. For all his dodges, King Boo will vanish into a puff of smoke, just like he does in the battle against him in Luigi's Mansion 3. Another small nod to Luigi's Mansion 3, since Sakurai loves the little things, when getting his shield broken, King Boo will see dark moons instead of stars. For his neutral attack, commonly referred to as jab, King Boo will do a simple yet fast double slap attack that will cycle infinitely, similar to Villager's jab. This move is a direct reference to Bo's smack attack in Paper Mario. His side tilt will be a 1-2 tongue swing, with Byleth side smash levels of range and Wario side tilt kill power, making it a powerful tool to keep the opponent at bay and on their toes. This move is taken directly from the first encounter with him in Luigi's Mansion 3, where he swings his tongue to knock down luggage and room service materials. King Boo's down tilt will be a puff of blue flame which he spits out. The ghostly supernatural ember will curse any poor soul who is burned by it, as the burn effect will linger for a time, causing additional gradual damage to the receiver, similar to Joker's Aha and Agon. This move is directly taken from two sources. In both Super Mario 64 DS and Mario and Luigi Paper Jam, he spits out flames of azure to scorch the skin of his victims. King Boo's up tilt is a backflip with his tongue sticking out. Due to his size, this attack will cover a massive arc around him, resulting in a massive hitbox. During this attack, King Boo will be completely intangible, making this move impossible to challenge. And on top of that, it comes out fast, around frame 5. With low base knockback, high hit stun, and low end lag. This move will work as his early percent combo starter. For dash attack, King Boo does a quick and powerful somersault, an attack that comes out fast and has potent kill power, dealing 20% in damage, but as a downside will have high end lag, leaving King Boo vulnerable to attack. The inspiration from this move comes from Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon, where in a phase in the final battle against him, Luigi will be thrown into an obstacle course. Luigi will need to escape while this giant Boo rolls towards him in an attempt to crush Mr. Green's statue, and when it hits, Luigi receives 20 damage. For aerials, this monstrosity continues his reign of terror with unorthodox attacks. Neutral air is the most basic of them all. It would just be a fan-like spin with hitboxes all around him. Due to his massive size and weight, this attack's area will be big, as in Bowser's neutral air levels of big. It's a multi-hit attack that deals a lot of damage, but it wouldn't be the safest move to throw around constantly. Neutral air is a mix of the Boo's attack in Luigi's Mansion 3 and Luigi's Mansion when battling Boolossus. In the original game, after popping Boolossus, the Boos would try to attack Luigi by charging straight at him. In Luigi's Mansion 3, Boos will use a lariat-like spin to attack Luigi. His Smash version mixes these, as he will rotate 90 degrees, but he lariat attacks rather than charge to cover more range. For his forward aerial, King Boo will spit out an ice ball that falls straight down, freezing anyone it hits. This move will function similarly to Mr. Game & Watch's forward aerial, as in, when used properly, King Boo can bring down the hailstorm. Alongside his airspeed and air acceleration, he can truly make hell freeze over with this attack, for he can move around in the air fast while dropping ice breaths, causing a massive hazard opponents need to watch out for, while he himself having the ability to keep the distance. This move will be one of King Boo's most potent tools in neutral, which he can effectively use to zone out opponents. The inspiration for this move comes from the final boss battle in the original Luigi's Mansion, where the floating Bowser head spits out ice chunks in an attempt to freeze Luigi and stop him from sucking up King Boo. For back aerial, King Boo does a backwards tongue slam, a powerful long-range attack with a meteor effect at the sweet spot. This move will have long range, a large area of attack, basically a reverse Ike forward air with a function similar to King K. Rool's back air, a big arc for a hitbox with a meteor hit. Although powerful, it is also quite slow at startup, since King Boo will have to backflip before commencing the attack, and since there is no hitbox prior to the apex of the flip, it leaves him wide open. Back air is a modified version of one of King Boo's attacks in Luigi's Mansion 3. In the original source, he slams down his tongue after a forward somersault in an attempt to crush Luigi with this saliva-ridden exterior muscle. Of course, to fit better as a back air, the attack needs to be reversed. For his up aerial, King Boo will unleash the Dark Moon to release volts of ghoulish plasma, creating a giant area of lightning over the Mad King. As the once fragmented Dark Moon appears over King Boo, dark purple sparks will leak out of it and serve as the hitboxes. This will be a multi-hit attack similar to Mewtwo's neutral air. Use the giant lingering hitbox above King Boo to drag opponents across the stage. It is also possible to fast fall the attack to drag opponents down and then follow up with a down air or up smash for further damage, giving this move potential in neutral. King Boo never uses an attack like this in any game, but it is a nice nod to the Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon as a whole, so it still works. For his down aerial attack, King Boo will slam down with his large body. This large, undead entity free falls down to enter the blast zone or any terrain directly below him. If that's difficult to visualize, it's basically Bowser's down air. The apex of the attack has a meteor effect, allowing for very satisfying dunks to the poor mortal victims. And thanks to his size, he can stand at the ledge and dare spike opponents to the blast zone while keeping himself safe. Outside of the sweet spot that spikes, this move will not have much raw power, meaning that it will not be a reliable kill move. However, it has a massive X factor. It can break shields with ease, and it causes a shockwave after landing, keeping King Boo safe from potential punishes. Airborne opponents out of range will not be affected by this move, and since it has pretty high recovery frames, King Boo can be severely punished for this attack missing. Be wary of the opponent's location before using this attack. One does not wish to eat a falcon knee. This move is directly taken from King Boo's slam attack in both Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon and Luigi's Mansion 3. Next up is quite possibly the meatiest of all of King Boo's attacks, his smash attacks. Starting with up smash, King Boo's crown will spin frantically, begin to dazzle red, and when the move is unleashed, two giant fireballs will explode out of the crown and fall to each of King Boo's sides. At the start of this move, there is a big hitbox above King Boo, which is where the explosion occurs, followed by two smaller hitboxes falling beside him, the two fireballs. The initial hit is powerful, capable of taking stocks very early even on the heaviest of fighters, making this one of the most powerful up smash attacks in the whole game. If the opponents think that they can wait for the attack and then initiate their attack for free, there is nothing but bad news for them, for the fireballs will act as lingering secondary attacks that can damage opponents after the explosion. These balls of flame will remain active until they come into contact with anyone or anything, though they don't have the power to kill reliably. They can still push enemies away and keep them at a disadvantaged state. If the move is used by the ledge, the fireball will fall to the abyss, serving as an attack that can reach the deepest depths of hell, making it unique among up smashes, for it will be the first up smash capable of edge guarding. The addition of the fireballs also make this move safe on block, because King Boo will be able to act very quickly after the fireballs are discharged. King Boo uses these fireballs in the final battle in Luigi's Mansion 3, where the crown glowed red and erupted like a mini volcano to burn Luigi to a crisp. For down smash, King Boo will summon a group of Boo Buddies to revolve around him and serve as a multi-hit attack surrounding his majesty. While the attack is charging, the Boo Buddies will be small and active like Ness's down smash. When they hit, the Boos will lock the opponent's hit into place for the full attack to connect afterwards. Shielding this move is unwise, for King Boo can just choose to charge it up all the way, allowing the Boos to decimate the shield during the process, eventually leading to the shield being so small it can't protect from the attack, or it breaks completely, leaving the opponent open for a potential loss of stock. When the attack is finally unleashed, the Boos will grow in size to reflect the larger hitboxes and will launch the opponent away. It is a multi-hit attack and it does a lot of damage, but it does not send the opponent very far, making it not very reliable in taking stocks. And since it has low end lag, it's best to use it to maintain stage control or put shield pressure, since it's what King Boo's down smash is best at. This move pays a homage to one of the most reoccurring variants in the Mario games, the Boo Buddies. There is also a small chance Peepas will appear instead of Boos. Forward smash will be quite possibly King Boo's most unique attack. For this move, King Boo will throw a massive spike ball as a projectile. Simply charge up and throw. When the opponent is hit by this thorny bowling ball, they will receive a serious dose of pain, for it hits hard, like really hard. The kill power on charge is comparable to that of a Samus's charge shot. The spike ball will break after coming in contact with any physical matter. When it does, shrapnel will be scattered around, causing minor damage to surrounding players and others. One must be careful a bomb is not nearby, because the shrapnel can hit it and set it off. This move can be angled, and each of the three versions works differently. When it's not angled, the spike ball will travel straight for a set distance, then gravity will come into play and will begin to fall. When angled up, it will travel in an arc, and when angled down, it falls straight down. Each of the three versions has its uses. The neutral one can hit and put pressure on anyone trying to approach directly. The up one can be used as an air/jump check, reminding opponents to be wary of their aerial game. and the down one can be slammed to the ground on opponents directly next to King Boo. And since this version causes the most shield damage thanks to its ball attack alongside the shrapnel, blocking this move is risky because nobody wants a broken shield. The three versions also have their unique use when edge guarding. The neutral one can edge guard those that try to recover straight, the up one to those that try to recover high, and the down one to those that try to recover low, making King Boo very scary when off stage. Charging this move does not affect the distance it travels, but rather the speed it travels in. This move is directly taken from one of King Boo's most common attacks, the spike balls. He uses these things in every Luigi's Mansion game. In the original, the Bowser robot throws them. In Dark Moon, they are dropped in an attempt to crush Luigi. And in 3, King Boo himself throws them. These must be his favorite. Next up is grabs, throws, and pummels. King Boo will have a long-range grab in his ghostly light, a concept directly taken from Luigi's Mansion 3, where he uses the same light to carry around paintings. His pummels are big chomps with his 4 massive fangs. For forward throw, King Boo will blow a vortex, creating a wind box in the process to blow away other nearby players. This is inspired by King Boo's attack in both Luigi's Mansion and Mario and Luigi Paper Jam, where he creates a vortex to suck things up, only here it's reversed. Sometimes improvising is needed. For back throw, King Boo will coil up the opponent with his tongue and proceeds to backflip slam them, creating a small shockwave on impact. Up throw is a simple toss-up. Sometimes it's nice to keep things simple. For down throw, King Boo will drag the opponent down to the abyss, engulf them in dark energy, and then throw them back to the surface. This is a reference to the Slinkers in Luigi's Mansion 3. When it gets a hold on Toad, it will try to take him to the underworld. This grab does not tether grab the ledge. Lastly, the special moves. His neutral special is Dark Lightning. King Boo will begin to charge up, and when either the charge is released or completed, lightning bolts will strike down. King Boo will summon anywhere from 1 to 5 bolts of lightning. The total number depends on how long the attack is charged. At no charge, only 1 lightning bolt will fall on King Boo's head. When coming in contact with the Royal Poltergeist, a massive blast will be created around him, causing massive damage. Charge up 25%, 2 bolts will come out. 50%, 3 bolts. 75%, 4. And when fully charged, 5 bolts of lightning will be unleashed from the undead heavens. Every time a new lightning bolt is ready, the crown will glow, meaning that players must keep an eye on it to yield the result they wish. A storm cloud will appear from where the bolts of lightning are discharged from, meaning the more lightning diffused, the larger the storm cloud will be. If anyone is hit by the attack at the same location the storm cloud condenses into, they will be dragged into the abyss the way of a meteor attack. At full charge, it is entirely possible to spike someone who is this far away from King Boo. However, this scenario is very unlikely to play out. It should be no concern to anyone. It is entirely possible to throw someone and follow up with an uncharged dark lightning, causing them to be spiked down to King Boo's electric blast, granting him an early KO. It's more powerful and has a larger radius than Pikachu's thunder. The barrage of lightning will work as powerful tools for edge guarding because nobody is safe from the thunderstorm. Dark Lightning is an attack that King Boo uses in both Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon and Luigi's Mansion 3, where he unleashes an onslaught of lightning bolts to attack Luigi. Up special is Paranormal Portal. King Boo travels through a portal functioning like a teleport. Like other warps in the game, this move can be angled in 8 directions. However, it will be unique among the teleports, for it can also be used offensively. Portals travel in 2 directions after all, and that is exactly what this move does. For any opponent that is caught by the second portal, the one King Boo comes out of, they will be teleported to the first portal, making this move great at reversing situations. This makes ledge guarding against King Boo a very risky option, because he could simply teleport on stage and send his opponent off stage in an instant. Paranormal Portal makes for an excellent recovery option, with an element of high risk, high reward when used offensively. The inspiration for this move comes from Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon and the obscure Luigi's Mansion arcade game, where King Boo opens a portal to unleash a horde of ghosts to disrupt the dimensions. Side special is Spirit Balls. For this move, King Boo will launch a small spirit ball to an opponent, and if the move hits, the opponent will start to gray out. With each consecutive hit, the opponent will gray out more and more, and when they are fully grayed out void of color, they will be completely disabled for 10 seconds. During this time, the disabled opponent will not be able to do anything for the 10 seconds, apart from running, dodging, and jumping. This move can be charged up to intensify the amount of grayness the opponent receives. One can look closely at the opponent's model to determine how close they are to being disabled. Of course, one must be quick to keep on the pressure with this attack, for the more time passes, the more they recover the coloration. If in the chance the move is landed successfully and the opponent is disabled with all the spirit balls, they are at King Boo's mercy. No attacks means no up special, meaning that not only is attacking restricted, recovering is also heavily limited. Players must always be wary of how grayed out their character is, for this may just be King Boo's deadliest tool. Nobody wants to lose access to their attacks, because then it will not be possible to fight back. Either avoid getting hit by this move, or if you can't and you're disabled, run for your life. If this move is hard to comprehend, think about Inkling's ink mechanic, but instead of ink, it's discoloration. These originate from the latter 2 Luigi's Mansion games, where Boos and King Boo use the spirit balls to turn things invisible. Down special will be King Boo's signature move, the one that his game plan will be revolved around, doppelganger. In a quick blinding light, King Boo creates a duplicate of himself. Players will be able to control them both simultaneously, and each action is doubled. To explain it in simplest terms, one controller controls 2 characters. A dream for the user and an absolute nightmare for the opponents. The way to tell them apart is through their eyes and teeth. The doppelganger will not have any eyes and will have 2 fangs instead of 4. Even with an additional fighter to control, one must not disregard caution in battle, because the doppelganger is not eternal. Just one hit and it will vanish in a ghostly mist, and every time King Boo wants to create a doppelganger, he must sacrifice 10% in damage, meaning that in the long term, making new ones non-stop is giving King Boo needless damage and will make him more vulnerable to KOs. By pressing down special while a doppelganger is active, King Boo and fake King Boo will swap positions. After a glow, the eyes and teeth will change. This will give King Boo a massive mix-up option. So in the case the opponents think they can already lock down which is the real one and the fake one, King Boo is able to do a last minute trick and swap it, making them hit the fake one instead of the real one. If the opponent hits the fake one with a physical attack, they will be slowed down witch time style, giving King Boo a massive window for opportunity. The inspiration for this move comes from Luigi's Mansion 3. After damaging King Boo in battle, he will create illusions of himself, multiplying the attacks. The reason why this move is the focal point of King Boo's game plan, it's because this move alone will create the trickster, mind-bending illusion master King Boo is known for. This move alone adds a whole new layer of depth to the character, for with this, opponents will have to always be aware and watch out of who is the real one and who is not. For guessing wrong may result fatal. No other character in the history of Smash can create a doppelganger on a whim, which is why his inclusion would be welcomed with open arms. Of course, means double the King Boo means double the devastation, for all the attacks will be doubled. Double the Dark Lightning, double the Spirit Balls, double the everything. It is absolute mayhem. Finally, his final smash. King Boo will smack anyone in front of him with a painting frame. If successful, the recipient will be taken into a cutscene where King Boo makes a massive painting and drops it on his victims, laughing maniacally in the process. Anyone over 100% will be KO'd instantly. This final smash perfectly captures what King Boo is, a massive, oppressive entity with the sole desire to complete his painting collection comprised of living souls. He may finally get the Luigi painting he's been waiting for all these years. King Boo will have one trait that is unique among all the fighters. He takes less damage when hit in the front and more damage when hit in the back. More specifically, attacks that hit his back will launch him as if the knockback was set to 1.1 rather than 1.0, and attacks that hit him in the front will launch him as if the knockback was set to 0.9. King Boo will survive attacks for much longer when being hit in the front and will be launched to the blast zone sooner when hit from behind. Landing attacks at the proper position and proper time has never been more important. The King Boo player should work to avoid being hit from behind, while the opponents should try to force the King Boo player to leave his backside wide open or find a way into it. This mechanic is directly taken from the nature of boos and how to deal with them. In many Mario games, boos are completely invisible when looking at their eyes and can only be killed when facing away or getting behind them. Of course, King Boo couldn't be made invisible. That would make him overpowered and lead to a lot of complaints from fans. Wrapping up the character portion are the miscellaneous elements, taunts, victory screens, and color swaps. King Boo's up taunt will have him pull out a picture frame and grin while looking at it, indicating his eagerness to play someone inside. For down taunt, King Boo will cover his eyes, vanish for a short time, and then boo. A nod to the Boo's farewell greeting in Paper Mario. Finally, his side taunt will be his memorable laugh. This is best used on a frustrated opponent to tilt them even further. Now for victory screens. His first one will show him dancing and smiling while carrying a painting of the player he last defeated. The second victory screen will begin with an empty landscape, and out of nowhere, King Boo will appear spontaneously. For his last one, a toad will be seen happily frolicking across the arena when, out of nowhere, King Boo will emerge from below and scare the toad. The rest of the victory screen will have Toad running around and screaming just like what he does in Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon and Luigi's Mansion 3 when he sees ghosts. King Boo will have a special victory screen. If he wins a match with a final smash, the screen will show the paintings of those who were defeated by the final smash. Then King Boo vanishes onto the screen facing away, then turns around, laughs, and shown is the phrase "good night." This scenario is a direct copy-paste of the game over screen from Luigi's Mansion 3. Last thing on the character are the color swaps. The first slot will be his default look from Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon and Luigi's Mansion 3. His second one is a purple one, referencing the Dark Boos from Paper Mario the Thousand Year Door. The third one will be pink, based on the red Boos from multiple Mario Party games. The fourth one is black with yellow eyes, referencing the bomb Boos in Super Mario Galaxy. The fifth color swap is a glowing green or glow in the dark color. This is a homage to the Boo amiibo that glows in the dark. Color swap number 6 will be light blue. The 7th and 8th color swaps will be based off King Boo's design in the Mario series, unlike the first 6 that are based off his Luigi's Mansion look. Number 7 will be his default look in the Mario series, and number 8 will be a golden version of his Mario series design. The 8th one references the gold Boos from New Super Mario Bros. 2. With everything that was provided in this video, hopefully the viewers have taken into account that King Boo in Smash is very much a possibility that must not be overlooked. While most people want and think that the final character is going to be third party, one must remember that in the end of the day, Smash is a Nintendo All-Star crossover plus some third party. It is not a celebration of gaming's icons as a whole. It's still Nintendo's game, and they can put whatever they want in it. If they put King Boo in Smash, that will be amazing. Better than most third party possibilities.